listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hi. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jackie Paget-Beard.
And I'm Dr. Vicky Arcady.
And we're the developers of Flush Your Fat for Good, Be Lean and Healthy for Life. We have actually written a book about it, and we're excited. It's on Amazon.com. Everything you need to know about how to stay lean and healthy for life. Another thing is that we have a website called Flush Your Fat for Good. It's the number 4good.com. And before we get into Dr. Vicky's Did You Know That, I just want you to know that the fun thing to do is to go to the website and see the before and after pictures. You'll see them and you'll read about their stories, and you'll see their before, and then you click on them and you see the after picture, and it's very impressive. And we have a lot more to put on, but for right now, these are the ones that we just love sharing. Another thing, you'll be able to go up to the top of the page and see access and pricing. That's where you're going to be able to learn about our VIP membership. The VIP membership is a great place to be. Get started there. And later on, you can choose to go down to the gold or the basic. But the VIP membership is where we have the 23 videos, the over 100 audios, and a lot of our different information that you can get, our podcasts. Another thing that you can do is go into the store. At the top of the page, you'll see the store tab. And in the store tab is where you can see that you can get the book. You can also get our workbook there. You can get the GLA, CLA, and that we have charts. We have nice little things for you to gather together to get yourself committed and started. One of them is starter kit number 1, and you'll see starter kit number 2. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is in the VIP section where you click, once you become a VIP member, you're going to click on the VIP access, and down comes a window, and you're going to see the video page and also the recipe videos. That's what I want to share with you right now, because we have a video there of Dr. Vicky and I showing you how to prepare the nuts for your goat yogurt. And this is one of the staples we want you to always have in your refrigerator.
We have videos on all the staples.
Yes.
There that you can watch, and you can even rent them for the day if you like.
If you're not a VIP member, you can be a gold member and rent them.
Yeah, anybody can rent them.
I always say, don't forget to soak your nuts. Make sure your nuts are soaked.
Make sure your nuts
Everybody's
are soaked,
like,
Fred.
what the heck?
Cousin Fred, make sure your nuts are soaked. Remember that?
Yeah, he took great pause on that phone call, didn't he?
He was on the floor laughing about that.
But where there's a will, there's a way. And there's a reason to soak the nuts, that you can do all the wonderful nuts that are available. They have to be raw, of course, and organic if you can get them. And the seeds, the only seeds you don't have to soak are hemp. And let me tell you, putting them into the goat yogurt is just an amazing sensation.
So good.
It's good. It becomes addictive.
Even babies like it.
Some people put it in the refrigerator late at night to just thicken it up, sort of like an ice cream.
We have a Facebook room where I put the little, she was 2 years old? She sat there and she didn't want anyone to disturb her eating her goat yogurt and nuts.
Yeah.
But that's our Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies private Facebook room. So you can request to join the room, and I will allow you to come in as soon as I see you there.
Yeah, she has a whip. And
no, there's questions you answer, and then rules.
And if you don't, she pushes a button, you drop in the floor. Like
Austin Powers, the Shark Tank.
The Did You Know That section today is something that we wanted to emphasize on why we are specific on, getting specific nuts. We want you to start off with walnuts and pecans, but you can go the whole array. However, I was dealing with a client the other day, and she said,
Buddy, you mean?
Yeah, Buddy. And she says, I'm not real fond of these nuts. And I said, are you kidding? Everybody loves them, and they crunch them they chew them in their yogurt. And she said, well, they just kind of taste wet and moldy. And I said, okay, let me ask you a few questions. How long did you dry them? And she came back, LOL, I didn't dry them. She just soaked them. So we're gonna, on the video, you will be able to see how we do it, why we do it. And for right now, Dr. Vicki on her Did You Know That section is going to let you know the importance of why we choose walnuts and pecans to begin with.
And we put the nuts in there, the soaked nuts, into the yogurt so that you can chew your yogurt, right?
It's about mastication.
That's
you don't
right.
chew your yogurt.
So that's why we've chosen to do that. And plus you're adding more protein, more nutrition, nutritional dense, beautifully, your probiotics and everything with it.
But it's about the fiber and also the oils.
Right.
And the vitamins and the minerals.
If any of you had hesitation about eating nuts, get ready, because you're going to be running out the door to get those nuts.
All right.
And soak them tonight.
Go for it.
Okay, the benefits, I think we should start off with the benefits of soaking nuts, and then I'm going to go into walnuts, and hopefully we have time for the pecans, which I will definitely do something on.
I want to hear about the pecans.
And, this is going to be something that you're going to be in shock about, I swear to God. But first I'm going to go into the soaking of the nuts. And I'm going to read something that I thought was the best description of why you soak nuts, okay? Nature has set it up so that the nut, the grain, and the seed, you have to soak your nuts, phase 2 your grains, and phase 1 your seeds. So nuts and seeds, phase 1, grains and legumes, beans and legumes, you soak also. All these have to be soaked. Okay. Nature has set it up so that the nut, the grain, the seed may survive until proper growing conditions are present. Nature's defense mechanism includes nutritional inhibitors and toxic substances that can be removed naturally when there is enough precipitation to sustain a new plant after the nut, the grain, or the seed germinates. When it rains, the nut, the grain, or the seed gets wet.
Right.
And can then germinate to produce a plant. Remember now that it's in the soil, so there's minerals in the soil. There's salt in the soil, there's minerals in the soil that help this to happen. So we are mimicking nature when we soak our nuts, grains, and seeds.
Makes sense.
And legumes. They
There it is.
include legumes. Nutritional inhibitors and toxic substances found in the nuts, grain, and seed can be minimized and eliminated by soaking. These inhibitors and toxic substances are enzyme inhibitors, phytates, which is phytic acid, polyphenols, tannins, you've heard of tannins, and goitrogens, which are goiter-producing chemicals. Okay? What are enzyme inhibitors? The digestive enzymes are metabolic enzymes, but the digestive enzymes help to break down the food. The metabolic enzymes help every biological process in the body. And as we grow older, our enzymes go down with age. Okay? Enzyme inhibitors will clog, warp, or denature any active site of the enzyme. Let's see. They may also bind to the enzyme, which will prevent the intended molecule from binding. Once again, the habits of traditional peoples should serve as the guide. They understood instinctively that nuts are best soaked and partially sprouted before eaten.
Yes.
This is because nuts contain numerous enzyme inhibitors that can put a real strain on the digestive mechanism if consumed in excess. All grains contain phytic acid in the outer layer or the bran, and untreated and in the seeds and the nuts. Untreated phytic acid, which is phytates, you'll see the word phytates, can combine with calcium, magnesium, copper, iron, and especially zinc in the intestinal tract
Mm.
and block absorption.
That's interesting because zinc is always great for your digestion.
It's a precursor to your enzymes, your digestive enzymes.
Mhm.
You have to have zinc. This is why a diet high in unfermented whole grains may lead to serious mineral deficiencies and bone loss.
Ouch. Wow.
So,
How many people don't soak their nuts, and how many people just eat them roasted, salted, and all that stuff?
Here's the bullets. Why soak nuts, grains, and seeds and legumes?
Okay.
To remove and reduce phytic acid, to remove or reduce tannins. Those are you find in teas. Those are To neutralize the enzyme inhibitors. You got to stop that. To encourage the production of beneficial enzymes. You turn on the energy, the germ in the seed and the nut. You know, the nut's really like a seed.
Yeah.
Technically, it's really a seed.
Yeah.
That will turn on and spark the enzymes in that high seed, you know, that the germ, to increase the amount of vitamins, especially B vitamins.
B vitamins?
B vitamins.
B as in boy?
Yes.
Mm.
To break down gluten and make digestion easier, to make proteins more readily absorbable, to prevent mineral deficiencies, which we talked about, and bone loss, to help neutralize toxins in the colon and keep the colon clean,
Hello.
to prevent many health diseases and conditions. Soaking these allows the enzymes, the lactobacilli, and other helpful organisms to break down and neutralize a large portion of phytic acid grains. Soaking in warm water also neutralizes enzyme inhibitors present in all seeds and encourages the production of numerous beneficial enzymes. So the way you do it is you just, like in nature, you put them in a bowl, you put water in there, and you put like you put a large amount of seeds in there. I mean, probably,
nuts.
yeah, I would say 3 or 4 cups.
Well, whatever it is, yeah, you want to make enough for at least a
Yes.
couple of weeks. But you want at least 2 inches of water over the nuts
Yes.
because they start to swell.
And then you put a generous amount of Himalayan
Good
pink
tablespoon.
sea salt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much. It's not going to affect anything.
No.
You're not going to ingest, and it's good for you. There's minerals in the sea salt. We already
Mm-hmm.
know that. And then once you soak them overnight, then you have to put them in a low oven for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
150, 160, 170 degrees Fahrenheit tops, right?
Well, depending on the oven, but 170.
Because
I do.
why? Because the heat is mimicking the sun,
That's very cool.
which is the process which they didn't mention in this article, but I read, we already know that. If you think about it, the sun comes down, you have the heat, and then it sprouts.
Right.
You
right.
have to have the sun.
You do that for about an hour and a half.
Okay, now let's get into walnuts. You guys are gonna die when you hear about walnuts. Honest to God.
I never ate so many walnuts until I started doing
The
this.
first sentence of this article is to say that walnuts are a nutritious food is a bit of an understatement. Walnuts provide healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and that's just the beginning. In fact, there's so much interest in this nut that who knew this? But for 50 years, and this article was written 2018, so for 51 years, scientists and industry experts have gathered every year at the University of California, Berkeley,
50 years.
50, for a walnut conference discussing the latest walnut research, health research.
That's
Who
ridiculous.
knew that? And the most common variety is the English walnut. There's the black walnut,
Right.
which is very nutritious, and it's really good for
Parasites?
repel parasites and all that stuff.
Where's
but
this conference? Is it in California?
yeah, it's Davis,
Oh,
California.
UC Davis.
UC Davis. So number one, they have 13 benefits. Number one is rich in antioxidants. Well, we know that. And they have higher antioxidant activity than any other nut.
Really?
Yes. Common nut. This activity comes from vitamin E. They actually have melatonin in them, walnuts. They have melatonin, which you take for sleeping. And
Wow, that's
plant
crazy.
compounds called polyphenols, which are
Right.
high in the papery skin of the walnut. You know the little skin of the walnut?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, listen to this. I have lots of studies. A preliminary small study in healthy adults showed that eating a walnut-rich meal prevented oxidative damage of the bad LDL cholesterol after eating, whereas a refined fat meal didn't. And you know, when you have this prevention, the cholesterol doesn't clog and go in your arteries and stay there, which is not good. It gives you atherosclerosis, which we don't want.
No.
Number 2, super high source of plant omega-3s.
Yeah.
Okay?
For sure.
They are significantly higher in omega-3s than any other nut. 2.5 grams per 1 ounce, which they said a serving is like a small handful. Okay?
2.5 grams per what?
Per 1 ounce.
Wow.
Of this omega-3, which is alpha-linolenic acid,
Right.
ALA,
Mhm.
it's known as.
Right.
And this is usually what's found in plants, okay? And you're supposed to have some every day. You're supposed to have at least 1.6, and one intake of ALA should be 1.1 grams per day. And a single serving of walnuts meets that, which is, like I said, a small handful. And observational studies have shown that each gram of ALA you eat per day lowers your risk of dying from heart disease by
Wow.
10%.
We do it every day. We're eating walnuts every day.
And you know what's funny? Some days you have to just keep eating them. You
Yes.
just you eat them in your yogurt and you just go, I gotta have some more of these, and you crave them. Well, you might have a stressful day, whatever.
Your body, right? The FYF for G trains the brain, so your brain is saying, "Let's have a little more walnuts."
Right.
I know. When I'll throw it into my yogurt, and I go, I feel like I need a little more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 3 may decrease inflammation. Well, if you're going to have omega-3s in
Yeah,
there,
it's a no-brainer.
and antioxidants,
Right.
you're going to decrease inflammation, which is the root of many diseases: heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer. Okay, and this is all caused by oxidative stress. The polyphenols in the little skins of the walnut can help to fight the oxidative stress and inflammation. A subgroup of polyphenols called elegitannins. Elegitannins. E-L-L-A-G-I. Elegitannins. I think. Elegitannins.
Okay, elegitannins.
May be especially involved. And the beneficial bacteria in your gut convert these elegitannins to compounds called urolithins, which have been found to protect against inflammation. Who knew?
You know what? This is the unbelievable thing about nature. That's why Hippocrates said, let your food be your medicine be your food. Walnuts every day.
Okay, I'm not done with ALA, the omega-3 alpha-linolenic acid. That, together with the magnesium in the nut and the amino acid arginine in the nut, the walnuts have arginine, also decrease inflammation. So you've got a triple whammo here. You've got things happening where your inflammation is going to go down. Promotes a healthy gut. We just talked about that it has health promoting bacteria. It starts promoting the bacteria through your own bacteria, better bacteria, and you're more likely to have a healthy gut if you eat walnuts. They had 194 healthy adults that ate 1.5 ounces, 43 grams of walnuts every day for 8 weeks. They had an increase in beneficial bacteria just by eating walnuts.
Wow.
Compared to the period of not eating walnuts. This included an increase in bacteria that produce bitterate, a fat that nourishes your gut and promotes gut health. All right, there's more. Number 5, may reduce some risk of cancers. This is big. Test tube animal and human observational studies suggest that eating walnuts may reduce your risk of certain cancers: breast, prostate, colorectal cancer.
Wow.
And the gut microbes can convert the compounds in your gut to erythrolithins, which I talked about, And that's because the walnuts are rich in polyphenol elagitannins, as we talked about. And we talked about the anti-inflammatory properties, but it really protects your gut to help protect you against colorectal cancer, which is like the #1 cancer.
But 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So look at how this is all tying in.
It's those urolithins that have the anti-inflammatory action, but they also have a hormonal property that enables them to block hormone receptors in your body that may reduce the risk of hormone-related cancers like breast and prostate.
Really?
Yes. Okay, #6, which we love, supports weight control.
Ta-da.
It helps to, it's a calorie-dense nut, but we don't talk calories.
No.
It's a nutrient-dense nut. Calories, we don't talk calories. It doesn't matter. That's old news. That's old paradigms.
Nutrient dense is what we want.
Nutrient dense, but walnuts are calorie dense, and eating walnuts every day may help control your appetite.
Mm-hmm.
A well-controlled study of 10 obese individuals they made a smoothie with 1.75 ounces, 48 grams of walnuts once a day for 5 days, decreased appetite and hunger compared to the placebo where they didn't have it. We don't really recommend smoothies, but occasionally, you can do a smoothie on phase 2 if you're going through.
Yeah, but the fact is that you're going to chew. Remember, the harder to chew, the more you lose.
Right.
And also, God gave you teeth, so you
Yeah.
want to masticate. But that's great news.
Listen to this one. After 5 days of consuming the walnuts, the brain scans showed that the participants had increased activation in the region of the brain that helped them resist
Wow.
tempting food cues like cake and French fries.
The satiety center. Or the temptation.
No, it's
that
a
would
different
be,
part of the brain.
That would be the pleasure center.
Not necessarily.
No?
It sounds like it's where you're craving, like
The
your
sweetness.
like where the opioids are
The opiate
happening.
receptors.
Yeah, it has nothing to do
Wow.
with So this can help you control your weight and your appetite and your cravings. You can help manage your type 2 diabetes and lower your risk. They did studies where they had people control their weight, which we just talked about. But eating walnuts can help control your blood sugar. Sure, it's nutrient dense. It's also protein, and it keeps your blood sugar regulated. 100 people with type 2 diabetes consumed 1 tablespoon. They gave them walnut oil for 3 months, and their diabetic medication, they were able to decrease their fasting blood sugar 8% and decrease their medication.
Walnut oil?
The oil, just the oil. I mean, that's how
powerful that
That's how
is.
powerful
Yeah.
it is, So,
Best thing
by
to
the
do
way,
is eat 'em.
you can do walnut oil on your salads in phase
yeah.
1. You can do
Yeah.
avocado oil,
Yeah.
phase 1, olive oil,
Mhm.
May help lower blood pressure.
That makes sense.
Yep, high blood pressure is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Some studies showed that eating walnuts may help lower blood pressure, and including people with high blood pressure. And they did a 4-year study with 7,500 adults, high risk for heart disease, and they tested a Mediterranean diet supplemented with 1 ounce, which is a handful, of mixed nuts. Mostly half of them were walnuts. And at the end of the study, these people had a 0.65 mercury pressure decrease. So it's like half a point decrease in their diastolic blood pressure, the bottom number. Resting.
How long did that take?
8 weeks? No. It doesn't say. Oh, 4 years. 4 years.
So they
4 years.
continued to eat.
They made it a lifestyle.
right,
4
like a
years.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So a handful of nuts and half of them were walnuts.
Yeah, so it has a big imprint. A little bit of decrease in your blood pressure is a big effect on your heart.
Yes.
Okay, supports healthy aging. That goes without saying. I'm not even gonna. They have studies. They did 50,000 older women, and they found that with eating walnuts, you decrease by 13% your risk of physical impairment. So you're more independent, you have less physical impairment if you eat walnuts. And they did this study over 18 years with 50,000 women. It's, like we said, it's got good calorie density, but it's also nutrient dense with vitamins, minerals, fiber, fats, and plant compounds that help you with your physical functioning while you age.
It's like a superfood.
Okay, supports brain function. We talked a little bit about that. They did serious studies with this. A 10-month study with Alzheimer's disease, mice fed 6 to 9% of their calories as walnuts, 1 to 1.5 ounces, up to 45 grams a day, daily for people. And that had significant improvement in learning skills, memory, anxiety reduction compared to the walnut-free control group. And they were saying in this article how the walnut looks like a little brain.
It does.
It does. And they said, well, that's because it does help your brain. They says, we're not jumping to conclusions, but that's why it says more studies are needed to test, but they said you also get faster processing speed of your brain, more mental flexibility, and better memory.
That's fascinating.
Now, here's a good part, man. Guys, supports male reproductive health.
Hello.
The typical Western diet destroys your sperm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's already 50% down.
Destroys the motility, destroys the size and shape. Just because you're making sperm all the time, your diet affects it, okay, your sperm. And one of the ways to get healthy sperm that is fast-moving and in good shape is to eat walnuts. They did 117 young men that included 2.5 ounces of walnuts per day. And they improved sperm shape, vitality, and motility compared to the men not eating nuts.
That's a big concern nowadays,
Infertility, man.
Well, they're talking about 50% of the sperm count now is down in America. They don't know why.
Right.
I guess they're not eating walnuts.
Number 12, improved blood fats. We already discussed that. They did a study with 194 healthy adults, and they found that they had a 5% decrease in total cholesterol, 5% decrease in LDL, and 5% decrease in triglycerides compared to not eating walnuts. And, number 13, they said one of the things that's great, 1 ounce of shelled walnuts is one small handful, which is 28 grams, which equals 1/4 a cup, which equals 12 to 14 halves. And it's the simplest nut to eat. It's available everywhere.
Yeah.
And by the way, they have to be raw.
Yes.
So bottom line, the most important and beneficial nut you can eat is walnuts.
Well, now a lot of people say I can't eat nuts because I have diverticulitis or I have colon issues.
Well, they mentioned that in this article that people that even eat grains that are not soaked
Right.
will you're going to develop that inflammation in there because of those phytates, the phytic acid.
You have to soak these
Grains
foods.
and nuts.
And the reason being is because it is what happens in nature to prepare it to move to the next level. And this is why we have a whole section in the website on how to do it. We're showing you how to soak the nuts, how to dry them, not roast them, and then how to prepare them, put them in a Ziploc bag, and have them available all the time for you.
Okay, now we have pecans. Okay, like most other nuts, pecans contain various nutrients, minerals, antioxidants, and vitamins that offer some wonderful health benefits. Cardiovascular health. Okay, pecans are rich in fiber, and they boost the health of your heart by reducing coronary heart disease.
Wow,
Huge.
that's huge.
And prevents some forms of cancers. And it has those, it has fats like oleic acid, which has the phenolic antioxidants that are healthy for your heart, and coronary arteries, which are responsible many times for heart attacks and strokes. And
the silent killer.
right. Okay, number 2, digestive health. The fiber contained in pecans promotes colon health and facilitates the regular bowel movements. It prevents the risk of constipation, colitis, colon cancer, and hemorrhoids.
Colon cancer and hemorrhoids?
Yep. It enables the colon to work at greater levels of efficiency by cleaning out. The pecans have more fiber than the walnuts.
How many people need that?
Helps in weight loss. Number 3.
That's why we do it.
They have 15 amazing benefits here. Research has indicated the diet comprised of nuts such as pecans help you to lose weight. This is because nut consumption enhances satiety and increases metabolism because they're so nutrient dense. You cannot eat, if you have soaked nuts, you cannot eat a big pile, 2 cups of nuts. They're so nutrient dense that you get satisfied and you feel good.
Yeah, you feel full.
You cannot eat more than that. I mean, a handful or 2 is plenty. In fact, if you're traveling, I always do this. I soak my nuts, and I always carry a baggie wherever I go in my purse. I think I have some in my bag over there.
I do
Just
too.
a cup, maybe a handful, not a lot, just a handful of nuts. Maybe 2 if I'm gone the whole day. And if I'm desperate to eat something and I don't have anything to eat that's good, that I have on hand, all you need is a few nuts, and you're going to be good.
I have little Tupperwares.
Yeah.
And I put the goat yogurt and a handful of the nuts in there, and that's it. It goes in my purse.
Yeah, but if I don't have the yogurt, those little Ziplocs? I use those little tiny Ziplocs and fill it up, and I'm good to go.
They're good, but you always have to have them refrigerated, but
Yes.
they're good over the day.
They're good over the daytime.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. Reduce risk of breast cancer.
Wow.
They contain that oleic acid.
Right.
So we had alpha-linolenic with walnuts, and we have oleic acid with pecans.
These are essential fatty acids.
Right, which reduces and prevents the chance of breast cancer. Okay, bone and teeth health. You're going to like this one. Phosphorus is one of the most abundant minerals in pecans,
All right.
after calcium. 85% of phosphorus is found in the bones and teeth, and the other 15% is found in cells and tissues. Besides cleansing the waste in the body, phosphorus, along with calcium, promotes health of your bones and teeth. So this mineral is very important in the growth and repair of cells and tissues and producing DNA and RNA. And it prevents muscle pain that can occur after exercising.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anti-inflammatory. Pecans are rich in magnesium and has tremendous anti-inflammatory benefits. We know that greens have magnesium. The big craze is magnesium now. Well, you eat your pecans every day and you eat your greens that we recommend.
And
You're going to get
cran
your
flush.
magnesium.
You're going to get it in your cran flush.
Right. Reduce blood pressure. Magnesium in pecans has been shown to help lower blood pressure. Reduce the risk of stroke. Well, that goes without saying, because if you consume the magnesium every day, the studies have shown that this is going to help reduce the risk of stroke by 9% if you get your magnesium that you need. And like we said, anti-cancer properties. They have phytochemical substances, polyphenols, ellagic acid, vitamin E, beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, which are great for your macula.
Eyes.
Who knew? These are very important to prevent oxidation of your body and prevent diseases, cancer, and infections. Man, I could go on for hours. Next, number 10, strengthens the immune system. Well, that makes sense, right? Next, skin benefits. Prevents skin problems. It helps, they're rich in zinc, E, A, folate, and phosphorus, which play an important role in good skin. which prevents breakouts, dullness, and excess oil. It aids in the elimination of toxins and waste from your body, improve the appearance of your skin, which will help you maintain a clear complexion. It has anti-inflammatory benefits because of all those vitamins and minerals in there, and the fiber and the cleansing activity that it has an effect on your body. Stimulates hair growth. It has.
Who are you pointing to?
Them. It's an excellent source of L-arginine, which promotes hair growth. Who knew? It's an amino acid. And male pattern baldness. It helps with male pattern baldness.
Really?
Yes. And it helps to have you be less prone to blood clots, which is very important. Prevents hair loss. Anemia is one of the common causes of hair loss and iron deficiency. Pecans are a great source of iron, which prevents hair loss. Prevents anemia, which prevents hair loss. I mean, I could go on. I can't believe she called me this afternoon and she says, we're going to do soaking the nuts and you need to find some stuff on the walnuts and pecans. And I'm like, okay. And I just went through, I called her, I says, I have so much stuff on this.
We already know why we use the nuts, and it's kind of the common information, and then when she goes and digs deeper, it's like, really? And the point is, a lot of people want to take supplements of all this stuff that you find in the foods.
Magnesium, they want to just say,
but when when you soak the nuts, you're preparing them for the body to be able to utilize it properly. And then, like Dr. Vicki said, you don't have to eat pounds of this stuff.
No.
But every single day, having a little bit, like a little dose, you're dosing yourself every day with these soaked nuts and seeds. Now, we didn't go over all the other nuts. Macadamia, almond.
Almonds are tremendous for the heart.
I was using Philibert. Somebody else was doing the...
A warning about almonds. They're all pasteurized in the United States. So you have to really get them from Europe, which Spain has some good ones, and get them organic because they're all sprayed here. There was a big craze, where there's E. coli. So now everything is sprayed and pasteurized or steamed. And it's not good. It takes everything out of them.
The real organic ones, and you soak the almonds, and they're very sweet. They're delicious. But you can't, this is another reason why we don't want almond milk, but there's not enough protein in the almond milk. But still, it's the almonds are pasteurized.
Right. So after you get our book on Amazon.com, you can go and get, there's some really great organic, non-pasteurized, beautiful nuts that are from Spain and Europe that you can buy.
The thing is, if you're doing something regularly, every single day, that is giving your body a food source that has the whole matrix of what the body requires. When you take a supplement, that's what it is. It's a supplement. It's not meant to be everything. It's just a supplement with what's missing out of your diet. But when you eat like Flush Your Fat for Good, basically, especially when you see all the staples you're supposed to be eating on a regular basis, you're really not lacking for much, except no matter how hard you try, our foods are still deficient. Our foods, many of them, even if they're organic, they're picked green. And many times the organic farms are next to the commercial farms. But you're still going to be lacking in certain polyphenols, the antioxidants, the
vitamin E, vitamin A,
the
zinc, the minerals,
chemicals, all of that stuff. So to prepare your foods properly, you don't want to cook them to death. You want to lightly grill them or lightly steam them, the vegetables.
Like your cruciferous.
Right. Mm-hmm. And with the nuts are so important. When this lifestyle came to me, that was the first thing that I had to have every single day for not only fat loss, but for the intestinal tract to be able to digest, absorb, and eliminate.
Well, you can see how, they did the studies, 18 years, long-term longitudinal studies, and they found that regularly consuming nuts every day is very beneficial to every part of your body,
But
including the brain.
I always started with the walnut.
Yep.
And some people, they might get a little allergic to the walnut. It's because they were eating them raw and they were creating a sensitivity issue. And when people say, oh, because of my diverticulitis,
Oh, you'll
or
get a
this or that,
stomach ache
the
if you don't
problem
soak
is,
'em.
is they ate them roasted, salted.
You don't want to do that. No.
You know, Planters peanut stuff. Peanuts, by the way, are not a nut.
Not phase one.
Well, they're not a nut. They're
No.
a bean. It's a legume. So that peanut is a starch. That goes on to phase 2.
Right.
And that's another story. But what I'm trying to impress upon you guys is when you are eating a beautifully God-made food and you prepare it just the way it was meant to come off the tree, fall into the ground, have the rains fall onto it, and soak it to take off those phytates and to allow it to sprout into a life. It's the life and the vitality of the food itself. And that's what you're ingesting every single day.
You know, I wonder if, I know in my family, I don't know about your family, but we always had nuts. We always had walnuts.
But we never, did you soak them? We didn't soak them.
We didn't soak them, but we didn't soak them, but my mother cooked them.
My aunt had diverticulitis and
She
everything
ground
was,
them up.
I go, you know, her name was Aunt Dodo. Loved her to death, but that kind of tells you where she was at. And, you know, hey, Aunt Dodo, you want some? Oh, no, dear, I have diverticulitis. She lived on Donatel, you know, the medication and all that stuff. But a lot of people have colon issues, and it's because they don't know how to food combine. They don't know how to properly prepare their foods. You know, taking care of your body is like taking care of your brand new Corvette or Ferrari.
Well,
and if you don't know how to take care of your brand new Corvette or Ferrari, you shouldn't have one.
My point is, we always had nuts in the house.
Yeah.
You know, mostly walnuts. We never had peanuts. We had walnuts all
Really?
the time. We didn't even have almonds, really. We had peanuts and pecans sometimes. Those two. But, you know, we're trying to get, through our book, help people understand that how nutritionally dense and how important they are for your health. And you get all the minerals, and together with everything else we've got combined, you're going to get what you need nutritionally.
What's really fun is you can play around with the other nuts too. Like
Yes.
I just got some macadamias.
Oh, those are
Okay,
good.
you have to mortgage your house for those. But it's like
They're high in selenium.
Yeah, they're awesome, and soaking them is so completely different.
I don't.
It makes them,
I soak them the same way.
no. I'm saying the taste,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. They're so good in the yogurt, too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And then I did and I do a lot of seeds. I'll do the pumpkin seeds. And,
The seeds are wonderful.
yeah. What I like to do with the seeds is that I'll dry them separately, and when I pull them out, I do a little bit of coconut oil while the pan is hot and mix it all up, and then sprinkle a little pink Himalayan salt on it, sometimes just a dash of cayenne pepper. Put it back in the oven just to dry the oil so that it comes out kind of a nice little seed that's not crispy, but a little more drier. Then I throw that in the yogurt with the walnuts and the pecans and whatever else. So you can have fun with that, because if they're raw, and you know, if you can get them organic, great. If they're raw, and you prepare them properly, every single day, you don't have to take a pill for supplementation. Every single day, you're eating a food that is going to do these benefits for you.
Oh.
And then you put them in the goat yogurt, and it's unbelievable what's going to happen, not only for your fat loss, but for your health. So,
Wouldn't you love to go to that walnut conference?
yeah, I was going to say 50 years on
We should
walnut.
look it up. We can go.
Okay, find it out. We'll meet you guys there.
I don't know if they'll let us in.
I want to tell you, not you girls.
Who are you?
Right. I think that when you can read our book, we're always talking to you about our book, because This is not a normal
I
book.
was-
This is not really normal.
I was
book.
just reading it, starting from the beginning. It's really a good little book. I mean, I love reading it.
No, it's a great book because
You're
it's
gonna
not.
love it.
It's not really a diet book.
No, it's not like,
And you hear our stories, and you hear about Kathleen Powell, who we wrote the book with, who helped us to get organized for this. It's like herding squirrels.
We've tried for 4 years to get it going, but she
just
saved the day.
Yeah, and she kind of, she knows how to hog tie. But and Coach Jennifer's in here. But I did. What's really great is when you read the endorsements. So we're kind of proud of those because we might come off like, one of those girls know. Well, these guys know we know something. But what I was going to say is on chapter 9.
Yeah, tell them where it is in there. So.
Okay. In the book, chapter 9, FYF for Good staples. Okay. We want you to become a VIP member because you get to see us in the kitchen.
In action.
And talking and having fun, but teaching. Because some people are visual learners. But in the book on chapter 9, we're going to be going through Jackie's chicken salad, the 3-egg omelet, coffee, why no cow dairy, recommended milks, goat yogurt with nuts, and that's page 148. So you're going to learn a lot about that. And with our website, we offer a lot on the website. It's an educational center. So when you become a VIP member, we have articles. I think we have over 109 articles right now. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I keep sending them in every week.
It's the hub of knowledge, I call it.
I put them in the room too, in the Facebook room.
Right.
So you guys get double whammo.
We also have a coaching course because knowledge is power. And this is not just to become a coach. It's in case you need to coach your husband or your friend or your sister or your neighbor or just look after your own health or your family's health. And it's how to survive on an alien planet. I mean, there's some horrible things going down right now with the health of our people in all across the world. Okay, we're in 5 different countries right now: the Netherlands, England, South Africa, Canada, America. And let me tell you, the diseases and the obesity, it's now globesity, it's everywhere. So we want you to look into that. We want you to join us. And I think you guys learned a lot about nuts today.
I learned a lot, and like I said, if you had doubts about eating nuts, forget about the calories. It has nothing to do with anything. It's the nutrition. The fats in there are so beneficial for your gut and your brain. I mean, your heart. I say, diabetes. I say your blood sugar. I say no more. Your arteries. I can say more. I can even say more.
It's a food you should have every day. And the way we do it is we put it in the goat yogurt. So if anybody's writing comments down below this podcast, and after you see this podcast, go ahead and say how you feel about goat yogurt and nuts.
And ask to join. When you're on Facebook, go to Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies and request to join, because we would love to have you in our room.
Yeah. All right. And again, the book's available on Amazon.com. Flush Your Fat for Good. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.